all they've done is sort of switch roles here and there. Is it going to work out for them? We are going to go live into the pistol round on this match here, so we will see them line up with Team X on that CT side and Virtus.Pro on that T side. But the question remains, like, are Virtus.Pro able to come away from this break having refreshed their approach to the game?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but Virtus.Pro here are going to make their way towards the B tunnels, as they often do on their pistol rounds. As I said, they favoured the inside bomb site on train, and they always move towards, well, they don't always, but often they move towards a smaller bomb site with these pistols, favouring the Glocks at these close range angles. Glaive there dancing and dodging, but he'll not get away. All does he? He does, but it won't be enough. Pasha taking him down, immediately planting, so maybe even a counter strat there from VP. They were pretty aware of what setup was going on, and they had no fear of the bomb site whatsoever. So we were talking about that research needed to be put in by Team X, but it turns out to be Virtus.Pro that get the first boost from that one. And Pasha picking up two. One tap dirt naps there coming out from the man with the biceps, and that'll put Virtus.Pro in a great position here to take out pistol and move into the second round.
Pasha going full flex there. Just two one-tap dirt naps, as you said, and burying his opposition. Not a lot here Freeze can do at all. He's going to try and see whether they're exiting those B halls. Right now, he's got 100% armor, so he is going to save that into the next round at least. And Team X, they just were simply overwhelmed in that B bomb site. They had that solo man holding, and unfortunately, he was put to rest.
Absolutely. Do you think if Freeze had have got the same round as Simple on Cache, where he falls off the rafter, would he have been freeze falling? Tom Petty? No? Alright, I'll let that one go.
Too much freedom in your thinking there.
Look, it is a situation here for Team X where they're going to have to put their nose to the grindstone now. Virtus.Pro started very well in their pistol round, dominant fashion in fact, not even remotely challenged there by Team X, and they'll start their second round on Terrace with a couple of AKs, 3 SMGs, so not the traditional 2 SMG, 3 AK buy. They've played a little bit faster, a little bit looser here with the 3 SMGs, trying to get a little bit more money in the bank, but still having those AKs to rely on. Neo will open the account there onto Glaive, picking up the first kill. Freeze will take Glaive's spot and pick up his gun. Snappy does pick up one before he's traded away by Snacks, and this is all going the way of VP.
Yeah, there's not too much VP are doing wrong at the moment. They have taken a lot of damage though, and they do risk going down as Valdi and Modi both pick up frags each, and as quick as you like, it's gone back to a 2 versus 3 situation. It doesn't exactly favour the Poles. Now Neo is caught at stairs here. They'll take down Modi though, so they will bust their way into this A-bomb. So back to a 2 versus 2. You can see both Freeze and Valdi are making their way through short. Will be through mid-connector and window respectively. So bomb is yet to go down. The CT's are already knocking on the door.
Yeah, Freeze is going to play a huge role here, but I like these positions here from Virtus.Pro. Taz is going to man that plant down, and it's a great position he's in with that AK because he can really dictate pace here. Neo throws that pop flash and actually collects both of the players with the flash, and Taz does the rest. He's on fire there. Freeze fires a few bullets off. He gets one, can't get the second. I love that position from the minute I saw the post plant from Taz. He has that AK controlling, but that first shot, the flash from Neo first of all, was pinpoint perfect, and the crosshair placement of Taz was second to none, and that combined for a easy closeout in the end. But Team X doing a good job making it difficult, and that's the thing, Jim. Team X have done a great job being competitive and staying competitive. They just haven't been able to close out the crucial rounds that they need.
That's been a difference between the two teams. I mean, it's a far cry. We're not calling this map over after 3 rounds, but we do see Virtus.Pro now just take very aggressive control of mid there. Snacks with that UMP. They're going to use him to try and farm some money if possible at all, using the SMGs to enter there. Pasha does get one down at short, but Snappy actually catches him unawares there, pulling his pants down, and it's the end of his contribution to this round, as we see Bialy now on site. He does eventually take down Freeze. Taz now picks up Glaive, all to do for Modi. 3 versus 1 situation. He'd be looking around in that mid-connector area for a gun. There was a little bit of a collateral exchange there, as We'll see bodies lying across the floor. Modi just using that smoke there. Does make his position known. That's just cleaning up, and he does. 3-0 to Virtus.Pro. They do successfully navigate their way through the anti-eco round. And we will see a gun round coming out here from the Danes. And, well, expectantly, Freeze with that AWP.
To be expected, but what wasn't to be expected there was the lack of AWP from Virtus.Pro. I thought that they would get one up onto Snacks, actually. But it appears as though they have a different strategy in mind to open up their account on the first gun round of the game. Freeze will have a lot to do with that AWP as well. But at the moment, we're joined by Valdi, who's Molotoving deep into the B halls to stop that progression. There'll be no use for that Molotov as we look at Virtus.Pro taking control of top mid and working out where they're going to go from here. But Snappy's going to have a pretty interesting angle. I think he's on top of that window room eventually, so he's going to pop out at an opportune moment and try and make a play, but Valdi's pushed up in the smoke as well. Lots of information here for Team X, but they're going to have to make the shots.
And they are going to hit this area. Snappy taking down, Pasha taking down through the wood there, but Freeze is holding strong in the window, but it's going to need a little bit more of a concentrated effort here from Team X if they're going to repel the poles as they make their way through the mid connector. They do have mid control. Freeze takes down Snacks there, decapitating him in mid connector. Pasha's able to find the reply there through the shot, but it is Bialy and Taz that do the damage. They take the site, and Team X was simply picked apart. You could see once Virtus.Pro took control of mid, putting people in the right places, and were able to cut down Team X quite well. And at the moment, they are on a little bit of an upgraded pistol buy. P250 and a CZ on Valdi and Modi. But the rest, just trying to manage their money. In fact, it is Glade that picked up the P250 to complement that as well.
Team X need to be very careful here. They need to be very careful this doesn't spiral out of control very quickly. And the reason that it might is because Virtus.Pro are just the masters of mid on Mirage. So if you allow them to get mid where they got the first time, you're going to have a very bad time. If you're Team X, you need to be getting aggressive on mid, maybe even taking the breathing space away from Virtus.Pro. As Snappy, I believe, gets a great little headshot there and picks up an AK, but he'll go down. So for me, Jim, they can't continue to let Virtus.Pro just abuse mid. They either have to, change what they're doing and leave mid alone completely, not contest it, and try and take the extremities of the map, like B halls or a carpet party, a palace, sorry. Or they need to do the secondary option, which is run up mid and try and contest mid early. Either way, they can't keep letting Virtus.Pro have their way.
No, that's right. Now, I mean, they've tasked mid to Freeze, who is a very capable player, but he can't do it alone. And with the aggression that we've seen from Virtus.Pro on mid and the premium that they've actually put on taking control there, it's surprising to see them relinquish a little bit of it in this round, Team X. And thankfully for them, Virtus.Pro weren't as aggressive this round. They've actually chosen to use the underpass to take control of mid now and slowly making their way through. And you can see that the channels have opened up, and this is a very passive play from Team X. They've got members around mid connector, but Virtus.Pro are just having the run of territory, having the run of the map. So,
and it's really interesting what Snacks did early on in that round. He pushed the B hall area. He threw an early Molotov, and what that did was, as you've so eloquently put it, Jim, it puts pressure on different parts of the map and forces Team X to react out of their natural positions. They're always sort of slightly out of a smoke or just copping a flash, just like Glaive is now. And it's very difficult for them to get comfortable. Now, when you're uncomfortable like that, just there, perfect flash, Snappy reacting just in time and being able to maneuver away there. But it will be Freeze opening the account of Bialy. A bit lazy there from Bialy, just wandering out on his own. I guess it was an information play at this point in the round. 27 seconds to go. They're going to have to make something work here.
And Snacks is just jumping into the B's bomb site, seemingly unaware. Valdi caught out Modi, though. Great position here in Palace. Does take down two and has left the bomb to be planted for that mid connector. You can see Snacks is still creating havoc over at that B bomb site. They haven't dealt with him at all yet. He's going to make his way through short there. Quite smartly, the bomb is planted for him. Pasha actually picks up that frag through mid connector. Back to a 2 versus 2. It's actually 2 AWPs on 2 AWPs as they make their way through. Freeze is just happy to ignore Pasha here in the smoke. Does eventually take him down and will stick this defuse, but Snacks needs to be spurred into action. He's not quite sure where the bomb's planted. Team X stick the bomb and win the round.
Certainly do. It's unlucky there for Pasha, who pushed up into the smoke. And I think that he didn't really know if the CT saw him the first time, but he did. It was unfortunate that he just didn't disappear through the smoke quickly enough. But still a very dangerous proposition here for Team X, because if they don't win this one, they're going to be in a double save situation, and it's not going to be good for them at all. Now, 4 AWPs in play, Jim, on Mirage, so this is going to be a very slow, methodical round. What are you doing, Snacks? I'm not sure what that was all about. I think he heard Modi reloading and ran out to get the kill, but
it's certainly not going to be about missed opportunities.
Well, that's a huge missed opportunity there for Snacks, as he just, I guess, throws it away.
They're not exactly out of options, though.
Not out of options, and it's a lost opportunity for the dope scope to make the dank bank.
These puns are awful.
Oh, this needs to stop.
Ladies
and gentlemen, I apologise for my co-caster. It is currently about 6:30 in the morning, I believe. And we've had a fantastic evening so far, and we're not done just yet. We're in the final match of this evening here with myself and Jim, and this is Virtus.Pro taking on Team X. And right now, Team X are starting to come to life. They've lost the first 5, but after the close gun round win, they look like they're back in position to start stringing some rounds together. Modi doing fantastic work in the last few rounds. Actually played a clutch role in the win in the last round, even though it didn't turn out that way. He got a crucial double with the bomb planter going down. So as long as Virtus.Pro don't manage to pull themselves out of this hole, which is becoming less likely, it's all going to be on Neo, 19 HP. We've seen him clutch with less HP before, but it doesn't look likely here.
Can he turn back the clock, though? Can he make this work? Because great positioning here from Value means that he's going to pick up that frag quite easily there. Didn't have a lot of time to work with, unfortunately, now. And Team X actually pick up their second round. 4 members surviving as well. Always healthy for a CT economy to build. But we will now see Virtus.Pro having to force a very interesting buy. I would term this the Whitlam sampler. They've got 2 Tech 9s, a Mac 10 and 2 AKs. So really utilising the full range of weaponry available to you in CSGO.
But we've seen some horrible buys from a lot of different teams over, the time that we cast CS, Go, Jim. But this one you can tell from Virtus.Pro is obviously very meaningful in the way they're going to put the round together. They got a lot of utility, even though they have inferior weaponry. They're using a lot of stuff here to take mid, and that's going to end up in a fantastic position. I think it's going to be a double kill at the start here. No, one of the members for Team X, it's Glaive, just manages to hold on, but he's going to be in a horrible position. He's going to be forced around back into window room, and Freese might get a pick here. No, he's changed weapons at just the wrong time. This is going horribly for Team X, and Modi will go down to Snacks. Now Glaive, Snappy, and Freese face a very, very difficult proposition here.
But they do, but they have been able to find frags in the meantime. The double AWP actually going to work. Snappy finds that frag. And we do see Virtus.Pro just being pulled back to a 3 versus 3 here. Freese is actually very advanced here on the ticket box and sitting himself very close position to Taz. Taz unaware that that was the case, and now Snappy finds the next frag as well. And it all falls apart for Virtus.Pro after they take the site and get the bomb plant. So they did get the opening exchanges, but unfortunately weren't able to capitalise there. They did make some wrong turns along the way. They didn't really have any pressure in their post-plant positions at all, and they were allowing too much territory there to Freeze as he sat under the guise of smoke. And they do find their third round. 3 members surviving as well. So the city economy is starting to stabilise. But Virtus.Pro, again, are forcing a very interesting buy, particularly given the fact that Snacks is on a P250 and still has $3,400 in the bank.
Yeah, not at all sure what's going on right here for Virtus.Pro with this particular buy. There's, I guess Snacks might be thinking to himself, he'll get a go. Oh, lucky he didn't buy, really. He's got down in a Molotov and been spammed through the wall. So, good decision there for Snacks not to buy anything, but this is looking much better now for Team X as Valdi doubles up, Freeze picks up the orb kill. It's all going to be left on Bialy, but it's a lot better from Team X purely because they're not being bullied around anymore. They've focused more on mid and then on the extremities. They've pushed people into short and continuously fighting window room, and it's really helped them out.
Great little use of the one-way smoke there from Valdi in the B halls that picked him up 2 frags there. He's actually used it for a few rounds here. He's just never actually encountered anyone at all. So finally that pays dividends, and it is now the 10th round here in this encounter. Virtus.Pro finally recognised that they might need to buy less than whatever they can every round. They've actually just gone for pistols here, tried to get their own economy going. They haven't got any plans to stimulate their economy in such a way that they are able to afford rifles. They are going to go into a set execute here, utilising those 2 smokes. They're going to waterfall their way out the palace. Objective here would be to just get that plant and try and get that money flowing as Freeze finds the first frag there. Actually nearly collaterals them as he finds the second onto Pasha. They are going to get their way into this bomb site, but there is going to be no bomb plant just yet. They've done enough to prevent it, and I think it is Neo that is trying to get it down. He does eventually manage to do so. So objective achieved here for Virtus.Pro. Freeze is cleaning up. Neo's actually able to do a little bit more damage here to Team X. And does get the bink onto Valdi, but unfortunately is not able to convert that into a frag. They will have 3 surviving members again. Team X are looking a little bit more comfortable here now.
They certainly are, but Jim, Virtus.Pro starting to slow down here actually a little bit. So that early pressure that they were able to put on mid, and that sustainable model that they had of taking mid and then executing either up short or through mid-con, they've been shut down here by Team X. They're well aware of what's going on right now, and this double AWP setup is proving to be pretty effective for Team X since adopting it just a few rounds ago. They've now rejoined Virtus.Pro on the scoreboard. It's 5 apiece, and both teams are settling into a pretty default round here. Virtus.Pro in their typical style, giving nothing away. Snacks is going to overextend through mid. He's in the fire. He will get chased down, but Snappy thinking a little bit with his head over his heart. He desperately wanted that kill, I'm sure, but does the smart play and lives to fight another day without overcommitting. Now, Virtus.Pro need to work out what they're going to do here, because as the clock ticks away, they have less and less resource in which to enter these bomb sites. And right now, they're looking at a whole bunch of Molotovs, but not a lot else. As that's a big kill for Snacks onto Freeze, which is going to mean a lot for these guys. But that is another great return of serve there. Snappy picking up Snacks, and now Virtus.Pro once again forced into settling for options that they just don't want. Now Glaive putting in fantastic shift. Neo in a 1 versus 4. The magician, the master, the man. Is this another moment of history we're witnessing unfolding right now as Neo snakes his way through the counter terrace? He will pick up one and move his crosshair back towards that vent area. Nice Molotov, and Neo will get the bomb down. It's now 3 versus 1.
And he's bought himself enough time with that Molotov there. In fact, Team X aren't even going to use that as a retake choke point. They're going to go through B halls. They're going to go through short as well. So the problem is, though, they're going to take a long time to get there. And Neo just not too sure where they're coming from just yet. Hopefully he's recognised their channels as they stream onto this bomb site.
Yeah, he's going to pick up the first one here. I think he knows there's one close window. Yes, he's narrowing that one down. He picks up the first. It's going to be difficult for Neo to do, but can he get this one? He does. Oh my goodness, he's burning death. No. Get your 1Gs up in chat. He's gone down, and that will be a very, very shaky 4 versus 1 coming away for Team X. Neo almost pulling the rabbit out of the hat, and reminding us of his greatness yet again. But Team X managing to hold on, and they'll take the game lead for the first time, 6 in a row, 6-5.
Brilliant Molotov though. That's essentially what won them that round.
Yep.
He was forced to try and either sit in the Molotov and take the fights, or choose another angle, and it wasn't planted for another angle. So great work there from Team X in that retake though, but they have had their economy trimmed a little bit on that CT side, and they are still able to run a double AWP setup, but Snappy pushing his way through the B halls here will actually be able to gain a lot of information by doing so, and Freeze is able to find that frag there in mid. He is supported by Glaive though. Glaive though will get caught out in the open though. Luckily for him, he hits that shot onto Pasha, and we will now see a little bit more aggression coming out from Team X. This is what we said they weren't doing, and now that they've actually been able to get some rounds together, they've been able to get a little bit more confidence in taking those. Bialy work his way onto the T ramp there, get that frag, and you can see the T's are quite split here at the moment. Snappy though has heard something is amiss in the B hall. Snacks will make his way through. Smart use of the smoke there, getting himself over. And we will now see Valdi and Freeze very split up themselves, actually, try and defend this bomb site. It's very much broken play here.
Certainly is, and will be Snacks and Bialy trying to make something work here, but Freeze is up to the challenge. Snacks will get the bomb down, though, so another 2 versus 1 unfolding here for the Virtus.Pro AWP player, and Snacks is trying to find an angle, but it's not being given up to him by Valdi just yet, but it will be very, very shortly. The AWP of Freeze sweats on the first kill coming out here from Snacks or not. Snacks gets the pick around the pole. He gets 1. Almost gets 2. Almost gets 2 there. And once again, Team X scratching, clawing, and scraping their way into another round. 7-5, but they're doing what they need to do.
It's not pretty, but they're getting there. And they're actually able to win these 2 versus 2s, these 1 versus 1s, and that's essentially the breakdown. And it's very, very close Counter-Strike. It's very, very tough Counter-Strike. It's gritty, but they're grinding their way through Team X, and they've got a bye to contend here from Virtus.Pro, and very much an A concentration coming through. I haven't seen them actually get themselves into a set execute here, but you can see them just lining up behind those smokes. It's not going to be a set execute per se. They're going to just try and brute force their way in, but look at the aggression coming from the CT setup. They've actually got double under the shade there, double under the balcony, and this is where the pressure comes through. Snacks, Taz combining for the opening frags. Monty finds a reply, but it means he's isolated there at the ticket box. Unfortunately, he goes down. Bialy headshotting him. Now, you can see it is just falling apart, and they didn't telegraph that site hit at all in any way, Virtus.Pro. They just brute forced their way through, and it was successful. And now Snappy needs to try and save this AWP.
Yeah, he wants to live to fight another day here, Snappy. But again, Virtus.Pro just knowing how to win the round there, and understanding that a lot of what Team X was doing was working out little triggers and tip-offs for their bomb site executes. So the call wisely coming in from the Virtus.Pro leadership committee that we're just going to walk up a ramp and see what we can push and muster before we throw anything. And we saw how it ended up. Beautiful take there from VP, and they're going to pick up their 6th round at the moment, pushing them closer towards evening it up at 7 apiece. Team X doing a decent job of closing out this half after starting pretty shankily, but Virtus.Pro pick up their first round in a while, and this looks really good for Virtus.Pro. 6 rounds on the T side. They should be pretty comfortable with that, Jim, and look towards their CT side to close this thing out, but hopefully for Team X's side, they can continue their good form as well, picking up the last 2.
And they had to get their abacuses out to try and get the math right on dropping all those guns. They've managed to redistribute their funds quite quickly, but they needed to contend with this rush from Virtus.Pro. They've taken advantage of the little moment of disarray amongst the counter-terrorists in sorting out their money, and that has left a gaping hole in the A bomb site. You can see the fringe of those smokes. There are a few terrorists just waiting to claw their way at the CTs. They make their way through. Glaive actually picks up an opportune frag onto Pasha, and Freeze finds someone with that AWP as we will see Snacks go down, and the retake is coming in strong here. Bialy takes down Valde, eliminating the presence there, but 2 versus 3, or 3 versus 3, should I say.
You know, this is going to look very, very grim here for Team X. Bialy just going completely ballistic. And he's going to take down 3 enemies in pretty quick succession. Taz gets taken down by Freeze, who will get away with that AWP just in time. But, Jim, that was all about Bialy and his ability to turn it on when required. He goes absolutely massive and picks Virtus.Pro up a 7th round. We'll go into the last round of the half. Tricky situation here for the CT money. They're in all sorts. Every which way. It's been Freeze, though. Look at that, Jim. The heavy lifting.
They're in all sorts. We're not talking the licorice kind either. We're talking dire straits. But Freeze, we said he was going to be the man to look to on this map for Team X, and he's certainly delivering. He just needs a little bit of help from his teammates. He's had the burden of actually taking that WP. A lot of his frags, to be fair, have been on these retake situations, which has been quite key. There have been a few, I guess, dottings of exit frags as well, but I mean, that's more of a case of his team surrendering the bomb sites quite early in the picture.
Yeah, and a great start here for Team X as they've picked up 3 of the first 4 kills of this round, and it's all left up to Bialy and Snacks to try and salvage this one. Freeze getting aggressive! Gets jiggy on Snacks in A Halls there, and he'll take the VP Orpa down, and Moddy spawning out there, probably will find the head. Nope, that is left up to his teammate. 8-7, Team X actually win the half, and after being down 5-0, they have to be confident, but you know, we're moving into the Virtus.Pro CT side half though, and it's going to be a difficult prospect. We've said that all along, but Team X have really come to play, and they've shown that they do have at least the quality in short bursts to keep up with Virtus.Pro. I just want to know if they have the class to stick with them.
Well, that was always going to be the case. I think they showed their credentials on train. They managed to do it for the most part, but when push came to shove, that's when the experience and the urgency came from Virtus.Pro, and I think it's going to be a similar showing here. Virtus.Pro, though, started the half quite well, and I was fearing the worst for Team X. I was fearing the fact that Virtus.Pro might have, in fact, initiated plow mode, and Team X might have been feeling the full force of such a phenomenon, but thankfully for them, they were actually able to stabilise their CT half and put some rounds together in the middle of that first half, and it's enough. It actually has them hanging with Virtus.Pro here, but now they're on the T side. This is their map pick. You would expect them to have some aces up their sleeve.
I was about to say, it seems as though we're talking about Virtus.Pro's map pick here, but we're talking about Mirage, but in essence, it is Team X's map pick, so we should expect them to have quite a lot of stuff on T side. It's just that I don't think that they have enough depth through their T side towards the back end to keep Virtus.Pro guessing for long enough. After 3 or 4 rounds, it could become a situation for Virtus.Pro where they pick up on tendencies very quickly and are able to make the adjustments. How many adjustments will Team X have up their sleeve on their side of things to balance it out and try and make sure they can hang with Virtus? We saw it on train. They did a great job, but just fell short. And hopefully they can continue that level of play and make this another fantastic game to close out the evening for us.
It's not going to be an easy task for them by any means, but I think you're quite right in saying the fact that Team X are going to show their hand quite early on. The question is, though, are they going to have that variation needed to take down Virtus.Pro? And Virtus.Pro are one of those teams that are actually really quite adept at adapting their style of play to suit their opposition. So that's one of their strengths. And once they've cottoned on, they just start to really punish you for all those mistakes that you're making. And if you don't have those gears to go through against a team like Virtus.Pro, you're simply not going to be able to hang in the same league as them. So we're going to be able to see quite quickly the difference between these two teams. And I think Virtus.Pro are probably going to take that same approach that they did on train. They recognised the fact that they gave their opposition far too much respect, and on the CT side now, they're going to start to tighten the vice a little bit. I think that's probably the best way to put it. They're going to put the acid on them. They're going to contest areas like mid. We've already seen that they've placed a great importance on it on T side. I don't think that's going to be any dissimilar on their CT side at all. So I'm looking forward to a classic VP performance here on Mirage, and we said it was going to be a bold strategy from the Team X to actually pick Mirage. Some would say they're walking into the lion's den, and I think they've done a great job so far of hanging with them, but I mean, is 8 rounds in the CT side going to be enough to get them through? I just don't feel it.
I just don't know. Virtus.Pro have been so up and down lately. Even within halves of halves. Even within the first half of train, we saw the best of Virtus.Pro and the worst. And on this map, we saw a 5-0 start. We saw the Virtus player come out and then be pulled back in for some reason. You know, and lots of high risk, low reward moves taken by Virtus. Lots of force buys. Playing really aggressively individually. This could be a sign of confidence from Virtus.Pro, as in we don't really have to go hard at these guys to put them down, but rest assured, if you don't give your opponent the respect you deserve at this level, this is the highest level you can play at, and anyone can beat anyone at these tournaments. So if you don't give your opponent the respect and the attention they deserve and warrant, then you might find yourself, making some mistakes and costing yourself some games. That's not generally how Virtus.Pro do things. They're pretty clinical and good with their approach, but we'll have to see how this pistol round unfolds, as right now it looks as though Team X moving towards this A bomb site. Yeah, it's going to be a full flurry coming out here. The waterfall is on. Taz needs to make connection. He makes connection with one. That'll do. Out under balcony is Bialy. He struggles, but does end up picking up one, which is just disappointing there for the terrorist. I thought they had him isolated. Taz with the tray from CT spawn. Too easy.
And unfortunately, for Team X, the waterfall didn't work. Maybe they should stick to the rivers and the lakes that they're used to.
Maybe that strat needs some TLC.
Maybe it does, but either way, didn't quite work out for them. They were completely shut out of that A bomb site, rejected on every front. I know how it feels, but...
Sounds like my Tinder profile. Damn, too soon?
Not soon enough, I don't feel. Either way, they're forced into this round with Tech 9s and a little bit of armor to complement that Team X site. Trying to brute force their way across the map. You can see they've actually spread themselves quite wide, and at the moment, no regression from Virtus.Pro. I think they're a little bit more disciplined than that. We'll see Snacks and Bialy combined, farm some money with those SMGs that Dank Bank is now rolling through their back pockets. And Bialy has got one out in Palace, but you can see they've done enough to ward off the aggression from Team X here. Snacks, he is feasting, and let's get a Vector taken down, Snappy taken down as well. Those SMGs going to work, and that money farm is real.
Certainly is. Virtus.Pro looking the goods, but when they're winning rounds, they generally look pretty clean. It's when they lose rounds that they... I know it sounds obvious to say that when you win rounds you look good and when you lose rounds you look bad, but...
When you're not winning, you're losing.
When you're not winning, you're losing. That's been the theme for the evening. But in saying that, you can still look good and lose. I know that seems counterintuitive, but you can still look like you know what you're doing and just not be able to hit the shots or whatever. When Virtus.Pro lose some rounds, they look like they're discombobulating. They look like they're all out of sorts and they can't really work out their right from their left. But when they win rounds, they look like the complete opposite. They look like the normal plow. So it's difficult to predict what's going to happen here as Team X make their way up. Obviously, this round I expect to go the way of Virtus.Pro, so it's not difficult to predict this round, as the bomb actually doesn't get itself out all, and that's going to cost them, as I guess the sewing machines or lawn mowers get started up in B, and there's plenty of cutting down to be done. This is bad news, I guess, for Virtus.Pro, but it works out in the end. They only lose a couple of guns, mostly the SMGs. They'll be fine. 10-8 is the score, and they're really starting to get a wriggle on.
I'm interested by the new sounds here in the SMGs.
Are you a fan of the new pistol sounds, though?
Well, put it this way. If you were to crank a Counter-Strike match on your home entertainment system, it doesn't sound like a Counter-Strike match. It doesn't sound like guns being fired. It sounds like home renovation.
Correct. A nail gun, perhaps.
A nail gun, stapler, you name it, whatever. An automatic stapler. But we do see a gun round coming out here from Team X, and they've grouped up very heavy towards this T-ramp, and they are going to hit the A-bomb site here. Not a lot of utility to support them. They eventually have those smokes go down, but they've lost two already. As finally Valdi finds a reply onto Bialy, but damage has been done. They are pushing through the smokes here. Virtus.Pro Freeze actually finds Taz. Gets a little bit too aggressive there, but there's a lot of damage going down either way. Snappy and Freeze are the only two remaining Ts left, and they have a lot to contend with. Those smokes are going to fade now, though, so the task gets more difficult and made almost impossible by the fact that they don't actually have the bomb in their possession. But Snappy finds the head of Neo. Taz pushes that smoke and finds Freeze, and now it's all to do for Snappy.
Yeah, he's got a lot to do. He certainly does, but Snacks is low to his right. He might be able to get just one. Snacks fakes him out well. Doesn't do enough damage there, though, for me, Snacks. He needed to find a connection there onto Snappy, but doesn't. Pasha eagerly waiting. This one, he spots him out and finds him. Snappy there. Just really had no idea where Pasha was. He could have been absolutely anywhere on the map. You can't blame Snappy for that situation. He was worried about his back. He was worried about the staircase, the CT spawn push, all sorts of things. And Pasha able to take that one and make it work. Now, Jim, for me, where is your timeout here for Team X? Is it one more round, let go by before you take it, or is it two? Maybe this round and one more gun round before you have a think.
I'd probably take it after one more gun round, to be fair. They haven't actually had a really good feel of their opposition just yet. But I mean,
Yep.
there's always that question when you actually take it. How far do you let things snowball out of control before taking the tactical pause? And this is where they will be leaning on the experience of their coach. But we do see them just running into the meat grinder there at the B-bomb side. No success being found whatsoever. They do recover that AWP as well, Virtus.Pro. So, look, I dare say they're going to try and feel this one out with that gun round. They haven't taken that tactical pause, obviously.
Yep.
But after that, I dare say they'd actually have a very, very good read of what their opposition are doing. And hopefully we'll be able to find that counter very, very soon. But Virtus.Pro, not really looking too troubled at the moment.
They're not. They haven't really got out of cruise control on their CT side just yet. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We could be watching another close one here. As there's actually 3 mid stack there from Virtus.Pro, and their T side, where they play very heavy mid dependent stuff, clearly mirrored on their CT side there with the presence of 3 players in window, just trying to force the terrorists away from the area. And they've done a pretty good job, to be honest, forcing the T's off mid. The problem is that there's one in underpass and a couple close mid ready to go again. That's a crucial shot from Snacks. That could be game changing. Even though it's just 1 kill, getting that positioning could be crucial, but he's just giving his life away there to Valdi, and the vision has been lost once again.
Snacks getting way too aggressive there in that instance there, but Pasha is doing the work through short there, taking that AWP. You can actually see that they had 3 in the mid window there and 1 very aggressive short as well. So Virtus.Pro are very much placing emphasis there on mid control, and they were able to successfully wrangle it away from Team X. And now it's down to a 2 versus 4 situation. You can see late round, now Virtus.Pro actually place a premium on consolidating the bomb sites. So very much the case. Modi now just trying to utilise that smoke to his advantage, but Virtus.Pro have been happy to let them take mid control now because they've got the security of those bomb sites 2-on-2 initially, as we do see Pasha find another frag. Modi finds Bialy, but he's taken down by Taz, and 13-8 the score. This is where the tactical timeout comes in, but they've actually opted to buy into this one quite early, so that to me indicates that they've already got a plan formulated, not really needing it. At least in their opinion.
Well, yeah, that's right. For me, it indicates that perhaps they're out of ideas, or they don't actually know what's going on, because there's no reason you shouldn't take a tactical pause at this point, moving into a gunner. You've got utility, but it's limited. You really need to have this stuff on point if you're to have any chance of winning this match. So a little disappointing that they didn't opt to discuss it and talk about it a little bit, but as you said, they might have the perfect solution to Neo running out and getting a kill. I'm sure plenty of people want the solution to that problem over the years, as now Virtus.Pro are just running roughshot over mid, and I don't think Team X are completely equipped to deal with what's happening right now, and it's just a spray down there from Bialy. Excellent recoil control there, and Virtus.Pro and just need 2 more rounds here for Virtus.Pro to end this one with Team X.
Yeah, not really too much to write home for Team X at the moment. There's not really too much to write about, as we do see them now on that Tech 9 buy. They've just left a little bit of money in the bank, so they're banking on having 1 more gun round and taking it to draw point to try and mount their comeback, that match point. That's where they feel they're going to be comfortable. So heading towards that B bomb site here, and that is going to be a fairly viable strategy here, as only Neo is actually left defending things. So a lot of work to do here for the Virtus.Pro talisman. He just opts to try and use the guys of smoke to he only takes down 1 though before he is felled himself. And now they have control of this bomb site. They've overrun. They will isolate Taz as well. So there is life yet in Team X.
Yeah, but there's a long way to go here as Pasha picks up 1. He knows the second one's there too. Picks up a second. No, he doesn't. As the camera changes angles there. Snappy should find 1, and that's a great round for Team X. So from the fire, they have been resurrected. The Phoenix is spreading its wings at the moment, but it's not yet fully birthed. They just need a few more rounds here back to back, because the Virtus are obviously only 2 rounds away, and they're going to continually put pressure on them.
Well, Virtus.Pro have got enough money to buy into another gun round after this, had they actually lost that. So should they lose this one per se, but look, Virtus.Pro at the moment still looking quite comfortable. You can see now they put a lot of pressure here on actually taking control of mid, and it's actually Snacks in a very poor position there, supported by Taz, but they're only able to get 1 frag out of that entire exchange. So the mid aggression does come at a price, and it's been exposed in both of these last 2 rounds. The price was they went light on site defenses there. Neo having to play solo B unsupported due to the mid-aggression coming out from VP. And again, it didn't actually work out their way at all with the trades with mid-aggression once more. So it's a risky game to play. You either need to hit your shots when you're faced with the prospect of a duel in mid, or again pay the price for leaving site defenses quite light.
Yeah, there's going to be a difficult round here for Team X, isn't it? I mean, 2 of them are on sub 10 HP, I believe.
But thankfully for them, they're actually going to go to the B bomb site. Regardless, Pasha's got that AWP, so he needs to hit his shots.
He does, but he can also get a couple of pistol frags here if he's able to miss, which is a pretty big luxury. Bialy, a long way from home. It's going to be Pasha fighting off 3 versus 1. What can the man with the biceps do? He's left unaware, but he doesn't make it work. Pasha, unfortunately there, doesn't get the first kill, and it's going to be left on Bialy to try and do something magical here. But luckily for him, he's got that rifle in hand. It doesn't need to do a whole lot of damage. It's just that Valdi is right on the other side of the smoke. And Bialy has decided the kitchen's too hot. He'll live to fight another day. Virtus.Pro, all of a sudden, a little bit shaky. Team X coming back with a vengeance here. And taking a few rounds in a row, Jim. But to be honest, Virtus.Pro should still have this. They just need to make sure that they're not being too overzealous in finishing this one off. They still, as I said before, need to treat Team X with a whole lot of respect.
RESPECT. That's exactly what they need to treat Team X with. Otherwise, this could bleed out for Virtus.Pro.
Isn't it a weird balance, though? The perfect balance of respecting your opponent enough to know how to beat them and what you need to do to win, but not too much that you end up playing scared.
Well, that's right. And also respecting them enough to pick your right moments for aggression. And I think Virtus.Pro, in the last couple of rounds, have actually incorrectly chosen which fights to take. So that's led to them actually bleeding out a few rounds here. Their money tree for them, luckily, still exists. It's still well fertilised. And Pasha with that Mag 7 over towards those B halls. We know he's a phenomenal player with that gun and he can do a lot of damage. So turning rounds on his head single-handedly. But Bialy very aggressive there on T-ramp. Not supported. Again, just taking the fights. Not knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when to actually back off completely, as we do see now Virtus.Pro holding this site defense. The smokes are still up. Luckily, that spray transfer actually works out for Neo, killing Valdi with the last 4 or so bullets to the gun. Snacks now makes the job easier for the retake. 1-on-3 situation here for Freeze. The bomb is decently planted for him, but that smoke's going to make things difficult. He needs to know his lines, and 10-second defuse coming in. Not able to do so. Virtus.Pro will bring up match point. And Team X are going to have to climb the last little bit of the summit if they're going to try and take down Virtus.Pro.
They certainly will, and it will be a well-equipped climb to the summit, though, at least. They've got their mountain goats, their Sherpas, their high-altitude supplies. They're going to have to climb
the safety line.
Everest here, the safety lines, the mountain boots, everything that they possibly need to climb this comeback mountain they have in their possession. It's all on. Well, that's right. They're in their natural habitat, but Glaive caught out of position and out of his natural environment there, and he goes down early on to the AWP pressure of Snacks, who will probably continue to fight, and he does, taking down Freeze. So the individual brilliance of the Virtus.Pro players starting to come into full effect here, as Snacks actually gets a triple. Neo will get the spam kill, and this will be a very difficult prospect for Modi, who will go down, and that will be the game for Virtus.Pro. They take out the series there 2-0. One not so convincing on Train Gym, just a good grind out, generic win. The other, a standard Mirage game for Virtus.Pro.
That's it. We said it was going to be a bold strategy from Team X to try and walk into the Lion's Den, and that's exactly what they did when picking Mirage against one of the better Mirage teams out there. Yep. So it was always going to be a rough drop for them to try and make it happen. They did hang with Virtus.Pro for a little bit there. I just don't think that they had it all together on their CT side when they needed to be. Virtus.Pro were just far too clinical in the end.
Yep.
And the great start that they got off to eventually ended up being a great finish to the match for Virtus.Pro. So Virtus.Pro, of course, taking that one out 2-0, winning both their map pick on Train and also winning their opponent's map pick on Mirage. Though I dare say the veto went their way. So,
Yeah, definitely a Virtus.Pro heavy veto there, unfortunately for Team X, but nevertheless they played hard. They'll take a lot away from those games, and hopefully they can rebuild and come back next time and pose more of a threat.
we will rebuild.
We will
as they
rebuild.
say, after every natural disaster here in Australia. Either way, it's been a fantastic day of action. We've wrapped up, I guess, the action for day 5 of the European ESL Pro League season. Now, we will be back tomorrow, bringing you more of the action from match day 6. So, plenty to come from both the European and the North American region. So,
I think we've got 12 hours tomorrow, Jim. Euro into North American here on the Peanut Gallery TV studios for ESL. So, brilliant stuff. Thanks for the opportunity once again. But we'll be bringing you some of the finest Counter-Strike action from across the globe. Now, I think we can still check out some more action coming up on the main channel, I believe.
I think they might still have some stuff going up. So, yeah, the mainstream is actually covering all the North American stuff. So, if you're still, I guess, your appetite is still wet for some more Counter-Strike,
Yep.
definitely head over that way. So, that one is the ESL Pro League channel. So, head over there. And they are still streaming some North American action in a short while. But it's been a fantastic day of action from our perspective so far. And I think that is going to be the end of our evening or morning, depending on where you're joining us from, as the sun rises here in Australia. But special shout out to the man mounting the production desk there this morning, our man still bowling. He's still bowling after all these hours, and it's been a rough one, but he's managed to cope. So thank you for sticking with us, guys. Special shout out to ESL Australia also providing us with this opportunity to do so.
Yep.
And we've been very thankful for it. So I think that about wraps up this evening's proceedings, guys. It's been fantastic. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you tomorrow night.